You're hoping for some degree of comfort, but the cabin turns out to be cramped and smelly, sandwiched between the galley and the bilge. Despite the lack of space and the stomach-churning smell redolent of dead fish, you manage to catch a few hours of sleep before the great dawn haze fills through the glass of the cabin's solitary porthole. Desperate for fresh air, you make your way up to the forecastle where you find the captain standing alone at the rail, reading the content of the envelope. "'Tis a brave, risky adventure you commit yourself to, comrade," he says without raising his eyes from the parchment clutched in his gloved hands. "Yeah, this be risky times. I can only guess at what lies beyond your journey to Deshkoda, but one thing you can be sure, I will do all in my power to see you to safety there." Immediately he issues orders to turn the ship about and steer a new course, north by northwest. The crew react to the sudden change of plan with great speculation, yet despite the dangers they know they may have to face, none challenge their captain's decision or voice dissent. For 2 days and nights the Intrepid forges a course through the stormy waters, running ahead of a chill wind that sweeps down from the glaciers of Kalt in the north. The sea becomes increasingly hazardous, with sleet squalls and lightning storms that break without warning. Yet the dawn of the third day heralds a sudden change in the weather. Fog, a windless, soundless, grey, forbidding damp that cuts off eyesight at an arm's length and leaves the crew soaked and shivering. Many stare enviously at your Kalkoth hide cloak as they attend to their early morning duties in quiet discomfort. "Curse this fog," grumbles Captain Bors, staring helplessly at the clammy mist that holds his ship calm. "Better a gale of a Kuri storm than this." For countless hours the ship lies dormant, rocking gently on the cold, listless sea. Staring at the water fog, it is easy to imagine all manners of creatures lurking within. The eerie silence does little to allay the superstitious fears of the crew, and when suddenly the quiet is disturbed by a shoal of red-finned sea carp, more than one man cries out in shocked surprise. "Do you wish to use animal control?"
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
The still water is set to boiling by the shoal of glistening fish as they swarm around the Intrepid. They have been drawn here by the warmth of the ship's hull, and as you stare down into the seething turmoil, you estimate that there must be hundreds of thousands of fish directly beneath the keel.
That's a lot of fish.
You watch with fascination until you recall something about the sea carp that you learned where you were a novice at the Kai Monastery. Something that sends a tingle of premonition down your spine. The tale and legends of the northern seas tell of the Sargath, a fearsome breed of giant reptilian sea creature that inhabits the black depths of the Calder Sea. Once, a century ago, the fishermen of Sommerlund traveled these waters and grew rich on the fruits of their labors, for the sea carp were plentiful in the market of Sommerlund, and Duranor paid highly for their catch. Trade thrived until the Sargath appeared and began to attack their boats. So devastating were the attacks, and so terrifying were the descriptions of the Sargath by those fortunate few who survived them, that all fishing in these waters were abandoned and has never been resumed. A swarm of sea carp, as huge as that which now surrounds the Intrepid, is sure to attract a hungry Sargath. You turn to look for the captain to warn him of the danger ship is in, when suddenly the shore ceases their thrashing and falls silent and still. From a crow's nest there comes a scream of abject horror. It echoes down the rigging, alerting all to a great scaly head that's broken through the surface, 20 yards off the port bow. "Sargath!" The lockouts' cry is taken up by the crew as one by one they glimpse the fearful sight of this legendary terror of the Calder Sea. "Ishia, preserve us!" gasps Captain Bors as the beast opens its jaws, revealing the glitter of its jagged, razor-sharp fangs. For a moment he is stunned by the terrifying sight, but quickly he recovers and begins shouting urgent orders to his awestruck crew. "Man the ballistas! Break up the billhooks! All hands stand by to defend the ship!" Also, there's a picture of it.
Joy.
So here's the little thing that's popped up by the ship.
Little. Let's see how little it is. Oh.
I think I just shut my pants.
Well.
Oh.
That looks
wow.
funny.
Well, hello there. Are you swimming the same way as us? Because if you are, then don't.
The Sargath observes the commotion in silence, its hooded eyes aglow with baleful green fire, as calmly it considers the moment to attack. Then, with an awful suddenness, it rises from the sea, roaring and hissing angrily, and lunges forward. Captain Bors gives the order to fire, and a volley of ballista bolts sink into the monster's scaly throat. Undeterred, it presses its attack and falls upon the port beam with devastating effect. Tortured timbers bend and crack asunder. In seconds, the deck is torn apart by huge claws, each as long as a mammoth's tusk. Then the cavernous fang-filled mouth sweeps down through the fog to snap shut upon the forecastle. Screams of pain and terror fills the air as it withdraws, soaring upward above the mast, jaws bulging with dozen wriggling bodies. You take cover behind the ship's longboat with the captain prepared to defend yourself as the Sarkov returns for the second strike. Do you wish to use your bow or your sword?
Bow!
We use the bow.
You load and take aim at the beast's massive head and swings low across the deck, smashing and crushing all before it. Its scaly hide look as tough as steel plate, and you search desperately for a path that may be vulnerable to an arrow. Your heart pounds and your face is drenched in cold sweat as the Sarkov, its jaw agape, swings back its head and lunges straight at you. Do you wish to use animal control or divination?
Maybe
Animal
animal.
control.
Yeah.
Your senses tell you that the most vulnerable part of a Sarkov's head are its ears. The wall of a creature's skull is finished near the ear canals. Penetrate its ear with an arrow, it could pass straight through the skull and into its brain. The Sarkov roars and a gale of putrid breath tears at your face and clothing, forcing you away from the longboat. As you fight to stay on your feet, the beast bears down, tilting its head from side to side, revealing just a glimpse of your chosen target. Guided by instinct alone, you raise your bow and fire. Roll the die.
10.
Legolas worthy or anything?
And that's without the bonus?
Yeah, that's without any bonus.
It's funny. That dice really likes you. I mean, you haven't had a single 1 or 2 or 3 in forever.
Ages.
Yeah. Your arrow speeds towards its target and disappears. Seemingly uninjured, the Sarkov draws back its head in readiness to strike, its awesome jaws poised to seal your doom. Death seems but moments away when suddenly the creature freezes. It shudders, its green eyes rolling in the sockets, and then gives vent to a scream so loud you are forced to cover your ears for fear of being deafened. The scream grows louder until, with a mighty splash, the Sarkov lurches sideways into the fog-wreathed sea. The Sarkov sinks swiftly beneath the icy waters. Its tail breaks the surface and slips with swirling foam, and then it too is gone, trailing the creature's lifeless body as it spirals 100 fathoms to its final resting place at the bottom of the Calder Sea. An eerie silence descended upon the shattered deck of the Intrepid, as the few who survived the attack stared in horror at the swirling, blood-stained sea. Then began the cries of the injured, and those who were still able to stand began the grim task of recovering bodies and staunching wounds. You help with the search and find Captain Bors lying near the ship's longboat. He's unconscious and badly injured. Both his legs have been broken at the thigh by one swipe of the monster's tail. You attempt to revive him with your basic car healing skills, but he is in deep shock and does not respond. Do you wish to use curing?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll probably out ourselves by doing it, but we need this guy.
Yeah. Shock, as a result of severe leg injuries, has reduced the captain's blood pressure to a dangerously low level. Your mastery of discipline of curing enables you to increase his blood pressure gently to ensure that his brain is not starved of its vital supply of oxygen. Once he is stable, the first mate, whose name is Davan, helps you splint the captain's legs and construct a makeshift stretcher on which to carry him to his cabin. Slowly he regains consciousness, and although he is in great pain, he insists on speaking. Davan, he says through gritted teeth, the ship's under your command now. You must do all you can to see that our passenger reaches his destination. Dutifully, the first mate promised to obey the captain's order. Open the chest, the captain says, motioning with his eyes to a large casket resting at the foot of his bunk. You oblige and discover that it contains a vest made of finely crafted Bronin chainmail and a pair of engraved silver bracelets designed to protect the forearms during combat. Take them, friend, he says. They may be of some help to your journey.
Brony's chainmail.
Bronin chainmail.
Bronin.
A Bronin vest.
Ronin chainmail.
Well, it's called a Bronin vest, not a Brony vest, but yeah. And
Is the vest for bronies or a vest made of bronies?
Oh God!
yeah, in any case, it can be used together with a padded leather waistcoat, but it has to replace the chainmail you have on if you want to wear it. It adds 3 to your combat skill and 1 to your endurance.
Let me see.
So in this case, it would lower your endurance by 3, but add +3 to your combat skill.
Hmm.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to just be able to follow this. Let me see. You say it will give.
The chainmail adds 4 into endurance, right?
Yes.
Okay, this adds 3 to combat skill and 1 to endurance, so that would lower your endurance by 3 if using it.
But
Yeah.
increase our attack power by 3.
Yeah. Also, do remember that you can at a later date try to acquire a padded leather waistcoat, which can be worn outside it. So, yeah, so you may be able to recover this.
Hold on.
And do remember to add the 3 combat skill as a separate bonus, but also fix the total.
Yeah, that would be. Let me see. That would be 41 if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Nice.
Also, yeah.
And there were the silver gauntlets.
Yep, they add 2 to combat skill and 1 to endurance. So that's 43 combat skill total.
Hold on.
At this point, you could pretty much go one-on-one with the Chaos Master and be considered equals.
And then you say it added. What did it add to the combat skill again?
2 and 1 to endurance.
Okay, let me see if I got this right. Let me see. Okay, just so I'm sure here, our current equipment would be. Stop that. Our current equipment would be shield plus 2, silver helmet plus 2, silver gauntlets plus 2, summer sword plus 8, mind blast plus 3, Ronin chainmail plus 3, weapon skill plus 4, and the total would be, what was it? Was it 41, or did I not count the silver gauntlets?
With the silver gauntlet, it's 43. But yeah, you're correct.
Alright, that is our total, and our total hit points. What was it? Was that not 39 about now, after we got rid of the old chainmail?
Well, yeah, and plus 1 from the...
So 40.
Yeah.
Okay, I just need to make sure.
Okay. Before you can thank the captain for his generosity, he lapses into a merciful unconsciousness that spares him the pain of his injuries. Having done what you can to make him comfortable, you return to the deck to survey the damage. Over half of the crew has been killed or injured in the attack, and the ship herself is badly mauled. The mainmast is down, the sails hang in tatters, and there's a gaping hole that stretches along the port beam to within a few feet of the waterline. We can patch up the canvas and work the ship on the skeleton crew, says Stammen, peering over the spindle rail. But if we catch a storm this far out to sea, we're all done for. For the following 2 days and nights, the Intrepid remains a prisoner of the windless fog. Davan and his crewmen work tirelessly to repair the ship, and come the morning of the 3rd day, when a gentle breeze arrives with the dawn, the mainmast is secure and the sails are patched and ready to carry the ship onward. With the port side still holed and storms a constant threat in the open reaches of the Calder Sea, it has been decided that the safest course to steer is towards the coast. Then, should a sudden squall threaten or gale arise, the ship could run to shelter in one of the hundreds of coves that indent the rugged shore east of Point Vashna. However, to sail along the stretch of coastline is to risk hazard that could prove as dangerous as any storm. Darkland ironclads, unstable in high seas, favor the coast when venturing to and from their base at Argasat, and the cliffs and shore themselves are peppered with watchtowers and Giag encampments. By early afternoon, the fog has cleared and the Intrepid is making good headway through the cold, sparkling waves. League after glittering league fall away to the stern until, an hour or 2 before sunset, the lookout catches sight of the coast. "Land ahoy!" he calls. "Land afore the bow!" The crew are cheered by the news, feeling safer now that they are within sight of land, but the spirits are soon dampened when the lookout call out again, this time aloud. "Enemy off the starboard bow!"
Bow.
Bow!
Yeah. But yeah, a bow is when you fire. A bow is a part of a ship.
Yeah. Almost invisible against the horizon of black cliffs and cloudy grey skies are 2 enemy warships, anchored a few hundred yards offshore. At first they look deserted, then the sudden clang of alarm bells and the appearance of huge clouds of yellow smoke from their funnels indicate they are manned and they intend to give chase.